So this is Warframe, the new war. I've been waiting for this for a long time. I would say for about two to 3 years. Been waiting for this. Why? It's because this is the next phase of this game. They've made many updates with regards to Warframe and where Warframe could be and where Warframe needs to go. But I believe this is the real game changer of Warframe. Yes, when Plains of Islam was first introduced, it seemed like it was a game changer, but it really wasn't. It was more like an open world where you get to do the same thing in Warframe that you always done, and the changes were the UI, which you did melee combat, and then for weapons and so on and so forth. Um, One of the major changes within Warframe was the Second Dream and the War Within. Those were some really big game changers because you didn't actually depend on your Warframe only. There was something called an operator. There was an operating system. There was a tree system where you have to escalate through a tree to get buffs and so on and so forth. So that was the first game changer within Warframe, the Second Dream and the New War. I believe the true second phase, the true second game changer is the New War, because it's using the same mechanics from the old back in the days from Second Dreams and War Within, and also from the other updates. But what it's doing right here is not not so mainly the fight mechanics, but also the also UI changes, but also the how you use your operator is going to be changed, and how the story is going to progress forward is going to be changed. So the standard of you just having to fight different factions is going to change. How you're going to use your Warframe is going to change. How you're going to use your operator is going to change. The type of locations you're going to fight are going to change. You're going to still have the same solo map and solo location, but you're going to have different exploration of different areas are going to change. How you do certain activities are going to change. How you execute certain combat moves are going to change. How you use your weapon is going to change. Um, I, how you use your melee is going to change. The fundamental fluidity of Warframe is going to stay the same. Those things, those standards, those fundamentals of the game are going to stay the same, but it's going to add additional things on top of it, just like Secondary add things on top of it, and New York add things on top of it. The main game changer for this is how everything is executed differently than how it was in the past before. The fundamentals will stay the same, but how the execution of certain things done within Warframe are going to be very different from what it was in the past, including the story is going to be very different. So it's going to still have that fundamental formula there. Because if it's not broke, don't fix it. They don't need to change the formula. But how they layered certain things on top of it are going to change. How you do certain moves are going to change. How you're going to probably won't depend on the Lotus is going to change. How you're going to fight is going to change. How you're going to use certain enemies or rather than always use your Warframe is going to change. So this is the big change, another big changer, game changer for the game. Not the fundamental game changers, because people believe evolutions means you change up the base mechanics of the game, its base fundamentals. That's not really an evolution, because if you change up the DNA of a monkey or a human being, then they're not human being and they're not a monkey anymore. They've been evolved into like a tarantula or something. You cannot change the DNA of something because that thing won't be the same anymore. Evolution and revolution means you still keep your fundamentals. You don't change that basis, but you escalate either fast towards something new or slow towards something new. You don't change the base organism's DNA structure. So that's not evolution and that's not revolution. All right, like if you can consider revolution as a part of a war that's been fought in back in the days between certain countries, rather than trying to change your government overnight, you slowly doing the evolution way, or you could change it overnight by doing it the revolution way. You topple the government, you put a new government in, you change up certain rules, and change up certain amendments and so on and so forth, and you have a new body. That's a revolution, to do something real fast, real quick. But at the same time, you don't change up what your country is, what your country stands for, what your country morale is. You just change the rules of how certain things that were implemented before and remove those things and put new things in. So that's what Warframe has done. It has kept its fundamentals intact to what it represents, but then it removed certain things and putting certain new things. And it's done it very differently from the past before, while still making you realize that the game is still somewhat the same. So if this is not a revolutionary change, then this is the next big game changer on the evolutionary wheel of Warframe. So we'll get into it right now. So when people say that Warframe really hasn't evolved, then they don't really know the difference between evolution and revolution. There are two different things whatsoever. Now, when I say the fundamentals, I mean your melee combat, how you do certain abilities, how you use your buttons to execute certain things. Those things are the fundamentals within Warframe. And if people believe, well, that's not really a game changer, nothing really has changed, then you're only seeing things from the part of the fundamentals. And they're not going to change the fundamentals, because if they did, it wouldn't be Warframe anymore. So I said to those people, get the hell out of here. Stop doing your streamings or whatever and hit the road, Jack, because you ain't a real Warframe player. You're just a guy trying to make money off streaming. Fuck out of here. So we're getting into Warframe right now. I'm going to continue to play the story. And additionally, what I'm going to do as I continue to play the story, I played this part of the story before, but I had to remove that video because it had incredible lag. Very, very bad lag. So I got rid of that video. So I believe I am 30 minutes into the quest. So I passed the first beginning part of the quest. I'm going to continue the second part of the quest. Well, a little bit close to the second part of the quest. So if you don't see certain things at the beginning, then that means I already passed that part. But I'm still within the quest. This is a 5-hour long quest. A 5-hour long quest, the longest quest. Like most games, when you play their game, and if it's not a full purchase game in a store, those games can go anywhere from 6 to 10 to 12 hours. That's how long certain games can go. This is how certain games can go. But I'll be honest with you, this is not a full game that you purchase from a store. This is just a quest within a full game. And if it's just like a campaign within a full game, a 5-hour campaign within a full game, that's very long. It's not even the main game itself. It's just a quest within the game, and it's 5 hours long. So I got a long way to go. So let me continue this story.
Welcome back, operator.
But I could only be on for like 2 hours because I gotta get to work in the next 2 hours. So I'll probably do this for about 2 hours. So hopefully I don't get a lot of lag, and hopefully things go good. But I'm only going to be on for 2 hours. I'm going to finish an aspect of the story for 2 hours. So if anyone's interested in playing Warframe, now is the time to jump into Warframe. Like, no, Warframe's not better than Destiny. Or Warframe's not Warframe's not Fortnite. Or Warframe's not that. You have to understand, this is a PvE game. Alright? If you want to just play PvP, then those are the games. If you want a PvE game, that's similar to like a game like Destiny. But not Destiny. That is Warframe.
Oh, as one. I stand before you, last of my kind, an orphan of Tenno massacres. But their violence did not end with me, did it? It carried on to all of you. Grineer languished in their torture plexes. Ostron clades starved for Tenno tithe. Corpus pupils weeping Tenno praise under blade. Solaris souls blackened the skies of Tenno foundries. But now is our time. An era of peace and security. The devils have been cast out. And by the void, the Tenno shall never return.
By the way, even if you were to skip some of the cinematics and go...
yourself. Full attachment fails on.
Even if you were to skip some cinematics and then get to certain cinematics, they've made the game so good to a level that if you were to skip certain cinematics and let's say you were to do a stream, you would still understand what's going on within the game. It would still seem like it's the beginning of the game, even though it's at the 35% marker. Or if you get to the 50% marker, it would still seem like it's the beginning of the game. So they did the game in a certain way to show both the past and the present. So where I am right now is the future within Warframe. I would say the old war passed when I first played the game, and now we're into like the new war phase of the game. So what I did is I also if you see certain things and want to know why the game look a certain way, why it doesn't look shiny or why it doesn't look like it have certain effects, is because I remove certain effects. I remove grain, I remove blur, I remove dynamic resolution. And I remove those things because those things lag games. Like for instance, if you, let's say, playing any game and you have bloom on, or you have motion blur on, or you have distortion on, and then you have also if you have too much blind strength, and then you have color correction on, you have weapon elemental effects on, all of these things added to the effect of the game to give it more depth, to give it more strength, to give it more like interest or beauty. Those things actually take away from your actual stream. Like it will take longer for the upload to happen if you're streaming, because they're actually considered within also in the upload. It has to upload everything from your game into your internet, regardless of what whether you're streaming for Twitch or what you're doing for YouTube. All these things are considered before they're uploaded. Not just your internet, but also in-game stuff within the color, within the dynamics, within the effects are also considered, and those things lag the game. So if you don't see it in this game, it's because I removed them, because they will take away from the actual upload a resolution of the game. I will make it look even laggier or even fuzzier. The frames, it will damage the frames. That's basically what I'm saying. YouTube already is bad when it comes to frames per second, but those things will also add to that factor.
Comms are bad tonight. How many prisoners, you think?
Too deep to know for sure. But what if there's an Archon down there?
Don't do that.
Stand yourself. Full detachment fields on.
Comms are bad tonight. How many prisoners you think?
Too deep to know for sure. But what if there's an Archon down there?
Don't do that.
Rescue the others, yes? Yo. To the mask, Sura. She gives, we live.
raise the door. Looks clear. Maybe an Archon.
Stay cool.
I have no idea what that means.
Father, my family. I must find them. concern yourself with me, Sura. Rescue the others.
Okay, so I found a glitch. Doesn't really make much sense, but yeah, it's definitely a glitch. Definitely a glitch. Because it was 7 before, it should have been 8. I found that character just now, optional, and it's still saying 7. So that means that the remaining amount is supposed to be inside. Even though I found them outside. Yeah, so it's not tallying up the amount of people I found that are on the outside. It's tallying them up based on the game itself as it's proceeding through the game. As this time, it will only count them based on the story itself, which really doesn't make sense. So either it's a glitch or it was intended to be so. So that's the reason why I'm running around. I'm trying to find those optionals, but apparently you can't do it. It's part of the story, so I gotta ignore that.
Strong claims starve for 10 times.
All as their apostasy.
Easy now. I'm not going to hurt you. Let me get that thing off your face.
All is one. All is one. All is one. All is one.
I told you, and Arkham.
Call the ship, smartass!
It'll be there just now.
So that's yet again something new to Warframe. That has never been seen before in any of the Warframe. A serpent attached to a person's body. That's like something out of Resident Evil or something. But not like a gross looking parasite, like a metallic parasite attached to a person.
How long's it been since the Tenno left without saying goodbye? Since Narmer and the masks? Since truth became a luxury few can lay their hands on? Whoever's picked up the mantle the Tenno dropped, drifting wild, popping masks and loosing bombs. Whoever you may be, we salute you, Drifter.
Now you see, already as I start the game, there are many things that are different within Warframe. Now the standards, the aim glide stuff, the operator still have some of it because the operator is a Tenno, but the operator can't do it as long as the Warframe can, because the operator is a human. The operator can do the same crouch as the Tenno. The operator can't do the propeller like the Tenno, because the operator is not a Tenno. It's a human, so they can't twist their body like that to do that type of movement. Otherwise, the operator would have probably been dead trying to spin their body at that velocity and at that speed. Probably kill themselves trying to do that. But the operator can still do the slider like the Tenno. And the operator can do the roll crawl like the Tenno. and then aim down sights like the Tenno. And I believe, can they do the backflip like the Tenno? No, the operator can't do the backflip like the Tenno. So there's certain moves that an operator cannot do, because an operator is just a human. So from what I see with regards to the game so far, even the vegetation of the world looks somewhat different from how it used to be. Because this is not just a change within the actual UI of the game, and a change within certain features and the enemies of the game, but it's also a change of how you execute certain abilities within the game. You can throw bombs on the floor, smoke bombs to make yourself disappear. You couldn't do that before within Warframe. You have a sensor to sense where enemies are. You couldn't do that before in Warframe. You had to use like a scanner which you attach to your weapons to sense where enemies are, or on the mini map using your pet or a mod that be able to pick up where the enemies are on the map, but not visually within the game itself. So now there's a sensor within the game that you can actually track where enemies are. So you got smoke screen, which is new, tracking which is also new to see where enemies are within the game, so as you can proceed forward. And now you also have something that's new within the game. That's a health pack. Are these really big game changers? No, these are just additives to change up how the mechanics of the games are. One of the main, I would say, the game changer of the game will probably be towards the end of the game, which I haven't seen yet. So far, there's just more layers to the cake for the Warframe cake. So the true game changer to this whole mechanics will probably be everything as a lump sum, as a whole added towards the completion of the game. So everything you've ever played from Warframe, whether you play Warframe back in the days for 1 year, or like in 2016, 17, 18, everything you played in Warframe moving forward are going to probably change dramatically, or if not dramatically, a little bit equally step forward from where they used to be. So they're not going to function the same way they used to be. They're not going to do certain things the way they used to be. They're not going to actually have certain additives the way they used to be. But the base mechanics are still going to be there, because it has to be known as Warframe. Like, Doom has to be known as Doom. Destiny has to be known as Destiny. Fortnite has to be known as Fortnite. Call of Duty has to be known as Call of Duty. Uncharted has to be known as Uncharted. Marvel's video games has to be known as Marvel's video games. They have to have that based mechanic that makes those games what they are. Because if you don't have that base mechanic to make those games what they are, that's not the game anymore. It's something completely different. Went to a completely different direction. And that might be a turnoff for a lot of people. In fact, it is a very big turnoff for a lot. Take, for instance, Devil May Cry is a pure example. When Ninja Theory did DMC, Devil May Cry, they not only change how you do certain things with the game, they change the character's behavior, change the character's mechanics, they change the character's motivations, they change the character's physical appearance, they change how the characters transform, but the only thing that was similar to Devil May Cry was the attack and fighting capabilities within the Devil May Cry arena. Everything else that was Devil May Cry in that game wasn't Devil May Cry. And that turned off a lot of people and only satisfied a few people. That's why Ninja Theory is known as a very interesting company when it comes to creating new and different things with regards to genre. But they failed on the aspects towards all gamers, because they were hired to do something completely different and not to the satisfaction of everyone else. So that was the main problem with that. So you can't do that for something that's been long-standing, been in the business for 10, 12, 7, 6 years. You have to understand who your audience is, and you have to understand how certain motivations and executions are. You can't just do it because you want something new. You have to respect those who are from the past, as well as those who are in the present. If you just ignore the people from the past and say, no, this is how things are, screw everybody from the past, you're going to always have a huge fall off, because the major purchasers when it comes to anything are those who are, one, the fans first, and two, everybody else after. So if you're not satisfying the fans first, you already screwed up. And that's the major thing with the Devil May Cry series. And that's one of the reasons why people hate and love Ninja Theory at the same time. That they believe that they're a good company, but at the same time that they're also a bad company. And I believe that's true and that's worthwhile. And if Ninja Theory gives their fingers to everyone and do whatever they want, then they could do whatever they want. They know that they are a great company, that they're one of the best company in the business, but they also know that they've made a huge screw up within their career. So, as a whole, they don't understand the mechanics of the game environment and the game community. I think that's because they were still young and they were still in the business, and they could say all the shit they want from the past and still grump about it and say, well, people didn't know. No. You didn't understand your fans. You didn't understand what the fans want. You screwed up. You can't bitch and say, well, yeah, you're just a bunch of punk people who are fanboys and say, no, man, you're in this business. You're in this line of business. You have to understand the business. If you're just doing things to make money, then you're just nothing but a money grubber. You're just part of the business to make money. If you say you love this, then you got to do it from the fan perspective. You can't do it from your perspective. Otherwise, you're half-assing it. You're a give-and-take person. You don't understand the mechanics. You don't understand the business. You're only in there halfway. And if you're in there halfway, you will always be a half artist, period. That's why I like Ninja Theory as a company. I think it's a great company, but I think it's not the best company. Not even close to the best company. They could think they're only the best company when I think it comes to visualization. Everything else, I think they're a fuck up. So that's my understanding of how you do certain things. I believe that's the way Warframe should stay and the way Warframe should be. It shouldn't change its base aspects of its game, otherwise fucked it up. Anyone who says otherwise, you can hit the road, Jack, because you don't understand shit about this game from the beginning. I don't give a damn how many million views you have, or how much you've been in the business. You're not a real fucking gamer, period. Yeah, you're the other side of gamers. There are two sides. There's the good side and there's the bad side. Like an Anakin and a freaking Darth Vader. Alright? You're the Vader. If you love to be the Vader, guess what? No one will ever respect you from the category of the world as a whole itself. You'll always be seen as dark side. No one will really respect you. Only people who are fucked up in the head like you are. So, that's how it is. And here's another thing. Here's another one. You see this? So I'm only doing this video for people who are interested in the story. And also the archive. But you see this? This is a new ship. That means everything you've acquired through your old ship, which is this one. Apparently, you're going to get a new ship within this game. And the new ship will probably come with new mechanics, new everything, and new ways to achieve everything. So if this is your first time at this type of mechanical game, this type of interest within this genre, you'll probably come to this point right here. You probably won't even interact with this point. You probably won't even see this ship up here. If this is your first time, you'll probably only see this ship right here. I'm assuming that's what's going on. Because if you just download this game, the new war is very, very new. So maybe that's what this means. You're old, and now you're new. So who knows what the hell is going on? Not even I know what's going on. But apparently, you get something completely new. Interesting. Alright. And another thing with regards to the actual setup of the game itself, I would say the reason why the ship inside here looks the same as your previous ship, the mechanic setup of your previous ship, is because in the Rising Tides update, which was no more than, I would say, a couple of months ago, maybe in June of 2021, they had already updated the ship in 2021. So for them to update the ship again and change out the look of the ship, the placement of the ship, would be kind of foolish. Like, it's not like years have passed and they want to update the ship. No, the update of the ship from how it looks here to how it previously looked in the past has already been updated. 4 or 5 years ago, the ship didn't look this way on the inside. It didn't have this type of visual roof. It didn't have this oval section. It didn't have this and this set up this way. So after 4 or 5 years, they already changed the ship back in 2020. In 2021. And I believe, yeah, they changed the ship interior already this year, if I'm mistaken, 2020. So they have no intention to change the ship yet again. I believe a couple of years need to be passed for them to change the ship yet again. So they already changed and updated the ship this year, so it would make no sense for this brand new update for them to change the ship inside yet again. That would make no sense, and it would be a waste of time. And they already have too much on their plate to invest in to yet change another thing that they already changed this year. So that's the old ship from last year. And then there was older ship from years ago. They already changed up the interior of that ship. And now this is the same interior from last year's ship, but they didn't change up the interior of how things work within the ship because they already did that this year. Like real early this year, maybe before June, I'm mistaken, but they already did the update to the ship already. But there's no reason for them to update the ship yet again. Now apparently, based on everything, the ship is underwater, so... Well, not underwater, but under a cave. So water is leaking in. So this is, apparently this is an old ship. Or it's been here for quite some time. It's been here for years. So I'm assuming this tunnel found the ship in this cave area. And it has been used for years. So even though the interior of the ship might be something that's completely new, how the base mechanics, how you use certain things within the ship might be different. If that's the case, then that's also something new towards the game. Like I said before, the game changer for this new update will probably be the culmination of everything all at once. Not just one or two things, but many things. That's the game changer, to change from how it used to work before to how it works now. And that may not be a revolution. It may not be something completely changed, because changing the ship interior all over again this year to something new again this year, that will be a revolution. But evolving it to something different, that would be an evolution. Yeah. So let's see what we have here.
Hey, give me that. All right. Good to see you too. What do you think, Orders?
What do I think? I think
Finish her.
this is torture. What's left of her is just wasting away. We've tried everything. I have no care and feeding of eidolons in my data arrays. We don't know what we're dealing with.
No, we don't. But you know someone that does.
I know someone that... Wait, operator, you can't be serious.
I told you, don't call me that.
Sorry. If you want to get to the outer systems past Narmer, we'll need a Corpus shuttle.
So apparently my character's face has changed, because my character's face has changed back to how it originally was at the base game. Because, like I said before, this is the beginning of a new journey. If you've never played Warframe before, like this is your first time, your character wouldn't have any attachments onto their facial features. They wouldn't have any makeup on. Their hairstyle wouldn't be anything different. You would get the base hairstyle. And everything that you're knowing about the character, as how you modify the character's face, how you modify everything else within the game, is going to be gone, removed. And that's why my character has this type of face. And that's why they don't have the makeup they have on, they don't have the war paint, so on and so forth. All the base structure within the game is gone. And to hammer in that proof even more, the character doesn't want to be reminded of the past by saying that he was an operator. So it's like, let's say you just jump into this game you've never played before. You don't even know what the character Ordis is saying when he said operator. Because the game doesn't want you to know. Because this is a new journey, a new step forward, a new moving forward. So if you're new to it, you will want to know what the hell they're talking about, what's going on. But if you're old, you'll understand that things happened in the past already. So it's very interesting from that standpoint. Like, if you're brand new, you don't know what's going on. But if you're a veteran player to the game, you understand exactly what's going on. But you still want to know what's happening moving forward in the future, because it's still brand new to you as well, even though you understand the past. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up the volume, because I believe
Heal the pain of independence. Strong, are wise, and trusted friend. We united in one vision. Rise to sing of sorrow's end. He the bringer of the vision bids you answer to his call. Praise the wise and mighty ballast. Heed the ruler of us all. For we're all one, and the work's begun for Narmer. And we all run to our golden sun for Narmer, for Narmer.
Vox Solaris collapsed under Narmer. You're on your own here. Keep your head down and get topside as quick as you can. Wait. Deacons. They'll sense if you're not veiled. Give them a wide berth, or you'll be sucking black ooze before long.
one.
Avoid the deacons or they'll seal you in.
Hello, hello. Missing your brain buster, then?
Ignore her. We can't risk it.
Can't risk what? Jank cipher comms? Already blew it. But listen, if you're here to muck with Nama, I'm keen to lift with ya.
Those are also new enemies. Those enemies are brand new. Never seen them before in the game. And they have weapon capabilities. Yeah, they're much faster than the regular enemies, and they have weapon capabilities. I've never seen those scanner drones before. Um, Regular scanners in the game are usually one or two. Are either one or two. Either the Grenier or the Corpus types.
I know a shortcut. Might grab yourself a K-drive if you've got the legs for it.
So there's a lot of brand new stuff in the game. Lots of brand new stuff in the game. Brand new scanner enemies, brand new attack enemies, brand new Archon enemies that look like something straight out of Resident Evil. And a brand new ship, which you probably, if you've never played the game before, have to do at the beginning. So, very interesting so far. Very interesting. I like the fact that if you've never played Warframe and this is your first time at Warframe, that you probably will never see the ship above you, the old ship. Or maybe if you do see a ship above you, it will probably be the base ship of the game. Like if you never purchased a ship, or you've never built a ship, it will probably give you the base ship of Warframe, the old base, like manta ray type ship or squid type ship. And then there's this new ship that you now found within wreckage that you have to build up, and then remove the operator from there. And maybe there are new mechanics in there, but it's basically like starting Warframe over from the beginning. Like if you never started before, it's like starting Warframe over from the beginning, with new enemies and new everything, but yet still keeping the old aspects of the game in place. So I like that. I like that everything feels like it's original from the old school, but yet it feels very new at the same time. So this is why they say this is the next phase within the game. The original phase was the first game. The second phase, the big changer, was Second Dream and New War. And War Within. Those was when the operators were first introduced to humans. And now we're at the third phase, the next big change within this game genre, where it's no longer about the operator. It's no longer about the Warframe. It's about the new mechanics and new ways to use both the old and the new in one. So that's what I'm getting the feeling. Like if you've never played it before, you still get aspects of what's going on, but you're still confused at what's going on because you have never played the game before, so you don't understand the game prior the way other players have played the game. So it still feels like, okay, you have no idea what's going on. So it's like the people who made this game has transported Warframe into the future. Like if you've never played Warframe before, like this isn't Warframe anymore. It's the future of Warframe. So it's like the people who made the game transported you like 10 or 12 years into the future, where operator is no longer a kid, it's a grown-up now. And then your ship is getting old and rusted, and now you have to find a new ship. And like everything's brand, and it's no longer about Corpus Grenier and Orokin anymore. The Sentients are the new rulers of the world now, of the solar system, and there are many other solar systems out there. So originally back in the game, in the first iteration of the game, you had 3 factions you had to fight against. You had to fight against Grenier, you had to fight against Corpus, you got to fight against Sentients. And then later on throughout the game as it progressed, they were introduced something called Infested, and the Infested were introduced into the game, into like the year of the game upon release. And then later on, as they progressed in the game, they introduced something called the Corrupted enemies within the game, and that was later introduced. Later on, they started to introduce certain things like open world aspects, like Plains of Eidolon, Fortuna, and Deimos. And now that they've now meshed all these things together into one game, and this is what I believe is the future of Warframe as we're playing it right now. This is the future of Warframe, where it's no longer about those different enemies of the past. It's about the present future that we're in now, where your new enemy, your new rulers, or your new fighting party that everyone has to compete against now is the Sentients. It's no longer about fighting 3 different enemies. It's about fighting one singular enemy now. So this is the future of Warframe now. Not just the future in the story, but the future of how everything is going on within your game mechanics. Like, you never had a button to press down and heal before. You never had a button to press down and to use smoke screen, like a smoke bomb, like a ninja before as an operator. Or even as a Warframe. Usually smoke bombs was used as part of your powers, but not as something within your toolkit. You never had a scanner before that wasn't attached to a weapon or a headset in order to scan and see enemies around you. Now it's part of your toolkit in order to sense where certain things were. So a lot of changes were made within Warframe, and this feels a lot like the combination of Warframe, Star Wars, Fallen Order, and another game. So this feels like Warframe is combining its fight mechanics as how it always was and combining it with 2 or 3 other games within itself. So it feels very much like a Star Wars Warframe. That's what it feels to me like. So I mean, okay, so even look at the outside. Everything outside looks different. Everything looks different. Before it used to be very, very cold, and it used to look very more blue. It used to be a lot more ice. Now there's hardly any ice. Like, after about good 10, 12 years, Venus is now more like a vegetation type of planet, with some cold aspects of it still remaining, so it's not completely gone. But the terraforming of this planet has very much have improved vastly since this ice cold frozen world, where it was nothing, there was no vegetation whatsoever at all. Everything was complete ice. Now there's vegetation, like vast amounts of vegetation everywhere, including on the ground. So yes, this definitely is the future. We'll definitely leap forward into the future. Yes, sir. This is definitely the future. Definitely the future. The corpus are completely, apparently the corpus have completely been obliterated or assimilated. So this is Star Trek. This is Star Trek the Borg. This is what will happen if the Borg take control. So the Borg has taken control of the Corpus. The Borg has taken control of the Grineer. The Borg has taken control of the people on Earth. The Borg has taken control of people on Venus. The Borg have taken control of life all over the planet. Now, I want to see if the Borg has taken control of the infested, because that's what I believe has happened as well. The sentients, these alien-type sentient beings that's not completely mechanical, like self-aware automatons. Well, not automatons, self-aware sentient life forms. That's neither organic or metallic or even systematic. That there's something different about them. That they have taken control over everything as a hive mind. Like just like how the infested is a hive mind, these things basically have won, and they've taken control over everything, all life, everything, and are now the new rulers. Before, the sentients were simply a threat hidden in the background. Their always constant threat was Grineer, Corpus, the sentient, and the infested, 4 enemies. But eventually, one out of those 4 would win, and apparently the sentients at the end of this past and present won. And now, moving forward, we're in the future now, under the dictatorship, or I can't even call it a dictatorship, more like a complete and absolute rule. Those multiple factions are still under the control of this one ruling empire, which is the sentients. So even if there are multiple different Borg type factions, there still are Borg at the end of the day. So there still are sentients at the end of the day. So yeah, definitely, like every enemy you've ever played Warframe before are no longer an individual faction. They're all one and the same now. It's all one ruler, one god, one devil, or however you want to say it. So the enemies you fight might seem the same, but they're no longer individuals. Their minds are all under control of the one governing party, the one ruler. So they all serve him. So if you have different Grineers you gotta fight, different Corpus you gotta fight, different infested you gotta fight, you're definitely not fighting them because they want to each rule on their own separate planes. You now have to fight them because they're all under control of one mind that's seeing all and knowing all, and probably has an idea of what you're trying to do. So our job within this new war is to topple the one hive mind, the one motherboard, or the mainframe. Hunhao is to destroy Hunhao, and then by destroying Hunhao, we now have to destroy all his sub-bosses and bosses. So we're going to probably have to go through all their sub-bosses and bosses, so on and so forth. The main boss, the main big boss before you fight the Hunhao, I'm assuming will probably be Era. And you'll probably have to fight multiple sub-bosses. So for right now, very interesting. Corpus is no longer a factor in the game. The Grineers are no longer a factor in the game. They're all servants now. So, interesting future.
Name's Little Duck. And you must be that stick in the spokes I've heard about. You weren't in with a Tenno back in the day, were ya?
Something like that.
I mean, I really do love what's going on here. I really do love what's going on here because when I first played Warframe back in the day, like 4 or 5 years ago, I was confused on what the hell was going on. I didn't know anything about the lore. I didn't know who the characters are. I just knew that there were three factions fighting each other, so on and so forth. So it's very interesting. Now, now it feels like I've known what's going on. I know the future. I know what's going on. I know the game. But if someone was new coming to the game, they would still be wondering what the hell's going on. So it's very fun and very interesting to see myself in the point of view of someone who's from the past, now playing things in the future, rather than someone who just jumped into the game and not knowing what's going on from the past to what's going on now in the future. So I feel very privileged to have actually participated in the events that happened in the past, to now see that I'm not, I can say for myself, I'm aware of what's happening, whereas someone new to the game wouldn't be aware of what's happening. So I enjoy the point of view that I feel like I've been part of this war within this game, and now I'm participating part of a future. I'm kind of like the Luke Skywalker in the game. I've already know what's going on, and then you have new Jedi's coming into the fray, that not knowing about the past, not knowing who Luke Skywalker was and how great he was. I feel like I've traveled that journey. I'm part of that journey now. That I'm an old Jedi, and my job will probably be to teach the new Jedi's moving forward. So I really like that.
Name's Little Duck. And you must be that stick in the spokes I've heard about. You weren't in with a Tenno back in the day, were ya?
Something like that.
shipment of brainbusters, and there's one with your name on it. See, security is lax on account of how the only way inside is wearing one of those sticky things.
What? You don't know what effect it will have on you. There's got to be a better way.
Afraid not. Plugs to think that some people take the veil by choice. Warm lies are more comfort than cold hard truths, eh? Ready? Veil up and I'll mark the shuttle uplink once you're inside. Think happy thoughts, yeah?
My child, so beautiful to behold. How do you feel? Within the dirty shaman, failing, evil, void in your heart. But Ballas, he saw a lost child in need of a father. As you recover, he noticed me less and less. What good was I to him if you weren't sick? loved him. But he only loved you. The stasis dreams were the only choice I had. Your harrowing dreams of mother, father. I made them nightmares.
Blending in nice, but I'd still give those deacons a wide berth. Did you know they can detonate those veils if they smell a rat? Take your face off that.
Are you serious? It didn't occur to you that you might want to mention that before we put one on?
It did, and I didn't. Needed you focused.
He saw through my deception, and my judgment was swift and true. He cradled you in his arms, saying, "Child."
Child, my child, forgive me. Wake from this horrid dream of hers. The world outside is waiting for you. These horrors of Zariman are lies only to hold you ill. I love you.
Jab that console, quick! Oh, guts! You've been rumbled. Right, leg it out the back before you're mumbling with the rest. I've sorted your ship. And a little nugget for myself while I was there. Takes me back to the good old Tenno days. Expect those brain busters might be on back order for a while. Been a pleasure lifting with you, Drifter. Lovers, holdouts. I just got word on the wave. Narmhead Factory got hit. No doubt the handiwork of that drifter we've been hearing about. Feels good to have a little bit of truth in the world.
Navigation is marked, but I hope you change your mind.
So I'm gonna probably end this in like 15 minutes. Reasons why I gotta actually probably in 10 minutes. I gotta make sure I head off to my work and everything. But the main thing I've discovered with regards to this game is like a lot of things that have changed. The original introduction of a droid that follows you around was from last year. But that wasn't Ordis. That was a different character part of the Orbivalis. I mean, not the Orbivalis, Deimos. And those were different. Those droids were embedded with the AI system. And the AI system, the artificial intelligence AI system, or sentient AI system, I can't even call it AI because it was like a sentient droid or a sentient program called I forgot the name of those characters. This is basically like a Ratchet and Clank type droid or something like that, similar to that. But the Ordis was always this AI system that was part of your ship intelligence. Kind of something that pop up on your screen, tell you that something is going on. Kind of like how Ballas and Dolores were shown there. But now they've made Ordis into like a little droid that follows you around. Whether he's going to be part of your missions and help you with your mission as an assistance in mission is another story. So that's gonna be something new and something different. But if you already know anything about Warframe, you already know that Warframes already have their own personal companions to take with them into combat. It's not like something that is new, something that's always been there. But most of their companions are always bots. They didn't have intelligence to them or self-awareness to them. So if you're able to take a self-aware warriors into combat, that'll be something different. Yeah, so lots of new things are happening. Lots and lots of new things. New ship, new sentience ruling. Your character looks might look somewhat the same, but it's been fashioned off to as if you've never played the game before. The locations to which you go, even the planet themselves, are completely sentient overrun, to the point that they all have this incredible red energy all over surrounding the planet to show that they're ruling over that entire planet, that region, kind of bot ruling or kind of hive mind ruling. So everything in this game is kind of new. It's kind of new, but still have the same old aesthetics. So it's pretty much new. It's really like playing the game over again from the beginning. It's like if you never played it before, this is kind of like a new introduction into the new future of Warframe. Like look at the vegetation, look at the scenery, look at everything here that you're seeing right now. That's presented to you right now. I mean, it's incredible. Like it's incredible. Like if you look at the vegetation even from the outside, from here, the world itself, it's good. I mean, it's great, especially for a free-to-play game. Look at this type of vegetation. Look at the details. As the character is running, you can hear their footsteps. They're moving through the trees. I mean, not the trees, the grass and the leaves. Now, you could basically say, well, this doesn't look like a real grass. Real grass is not that bright. A lot of people will be forgetting, or a lot of people who want things to look realistic might be forgetting one thing. This is a fictional fantasy world where the grass and vegetation has been corrupted by the type of people who have been living on the planet in the future. So the development of grass, the development of vegetation, the development of trees are influenced by those who are now living on the planet. So everything moving forward from the old Orokin to the Grineer and Corpus to now the Sentients, who are the main rulers, have affected the planet to a certain degree. Because people who don't know the lore of Warframe would not understand, well, the vegetation of this planet will look significantly somewhat different from the real vegetation. It's because there was like a nuclear fallout in the past that completely almost obliterated Earth. And thus changing everything, even the vegetation. So even the vegetation starts to grow back. It won't look exactly the same. They'll always have this kind of paleness to them. So it wasn't like an actual nuke went off, but something similar, like a type of virus that infected everything, organic and inorganic matter. So yeah, that's what it is. So when grass don't look 100% like grass, or trees or bricks or even stone, they'll look 100% like stone. Not that the people who made the game didn't know that, how to do it or how to do it accurately. Is because one, everything within this game is influenced by the type of people who are in the world itself. And some things are simply based on, certain vegetations are meant to look certain ways because they wanted things to look different visually. So from that point of view, you would be right. Those things weren't real. But from the other point of view, if you take it from the science fiction aspects, the nuclear kind of infected or virus fallout affected everything, not just life. So if a plant looks somewhat more blue than a regular plant that looks completely green by vegetation or mud or fog or so on and so forth, it's because of those things that happen within this world. This is a science fiction vegetation world, not a real life one. So those influences are present. So after I do this part, I'll probably give my complete thoughts with regards to the game so far. It won't be long. I'll probably be like 3-minute explanation. So I've been just seeing things how it's perceived forward. In all truth, in all truth, I'll stop here because it's already 2:05 and I gotta get prepped for going to work and everything. But I will state it out now if I didn't state it before in the previous video. When you first introduced into the story, you were thrown into a fight, and that fight was in the past. And then once you get past that 15 to 20 minute introduction fight, where you're on the side of both the Grenier and Corpus and of Teshin, that 25 minutes introduction fight scene, which went on for like 25 minutes. It could be wrong, could have been 30. Once you get past that, you're now steward forward into the future, or plunge forward into the future, where you're now stewarding this new world as this new character. Now, you can't say it's the same old operator you used before, because it's the character that you used to have before is now mature. Their face is mature, everything about the character is mature. You can't actually technically go to your inventory and change up how the appearance is, because the only thing that you can see is your profile, your in-game profile, your leadership board and everything. Who you are, what you are. And this will show you exactly what you are. Now this is how I originally look from the past. This is the Warframe of the past. And this is the operator of the past. This was my gear of the past. Now this is how the past had looked. So push forward, the character now wears a completely different outfit and hairstyle compared to the ones that I have. And when I first started the game, I had various different hairstyles, but this one that this character is wearing was one of the hairstyles within the inventory, and the game simply took this character set within my loadout and used this one in comparison to the one you just saw. So the game is basically starting you from new, removing all your previous loadout capabilities, all your makeup, all everything with regards to your character, and it gives you a new ship, and it gives you new sections and new things within your ship, and it shows you a new vegetation adaptation world tile set that looks different from the old tile set, with new lighting to it and new hints and acceleration towards grain structure within the game itself. Now, note that if something doesn't look certain way, certain colors are removed. It's because I've done certain manipulations towards the options to take out certain grains, to take out certain details, to take out certain flares, to take out certain blooms, and that's affecting everything within the game. So as a whole, the game is good. And also as a whole, there are far more details within the game itself. When it comes to your options, the control options go all the way up to all the way down. There's so many options for just your control in and of itself. And there are so many options for, actually not so many options for gameplay, but equally as much options for control as there are for interface, because there's so many options for interface. And the same goes with display. There are so many options within the display menu. And equally goes for volume. There's so many options within the volume. Because most games, they will have like 10 options within the volume. And another 10 options within your display. And about 20 options within your interface. And about 5 options within your chat. And gameplay, you'll probably have about 10 options within your gameplay. And controls, you'll probably have 5 options within the controls. And then on the controls, you have configurations of your controls. Like after you press on control, you can select the type of mode set for your control. And it will give, and most games will give you 5 different modes: left side, right side, combination, compilation, and then or modification, independent modification, 5 different styles. In this game, you have basically mod for every single button that you could choose from. And that's for weapons, that's for abilities, that's for aiming, that's for arcing, that's for actions, and there's even a miscellaneous button. So there's so many gear buttons, and that's one of the great things about Warframe. Like you can press each button and modify them to a specific detail that you want. It's not like, okay, you have one A, B, C, D, and then you want to decide where you want to put A, B, C, D. No, it's more than that. You could select A, B, C, and D, but then you could select aiming. And then you can select place marker. Then you can select inverse. Then you can select movement, jump. You could select exactly what button you want to do for exactly what things. Most games will just have you have 5 different loadout types that you could choose from, that the people who made the game says, this is what we have given to you, and you can accept each one. No, in this game you get to choose which type of loadout type for your controller itself. And that's for the general controller. And then there's for ability, that's for Naruto, for different gameplay styles, for placement gameplay styles, for the fighting game styles, for the railjack styles, for using your music. There's even music empowered within this game if you want to play music. So this game has many things. General controls for mission, controls for railjack, for when you want to play railjack, controls for when you want to play that mini fighter game, controls for when you want to do placement marker, controls for when you want to play the sport game called Naruto, and general ability controls that you want to set. And then the overall general controls for the game itself. So there are 5 different type of mode sets within this game and additional mode sets within this game. So the 5 main types are the general mode set, controller settings, and then the second one will be the playing the sport called Naruto gameplay settings. So you could set that up for when you want to go in and play the sports. So you don't have to actually, it will automatically change from your general to your Naruto setting once you play that sport. And then there's the flame fighters, you get to play the fighting game. So if you go from general and you go into frame fighter mode, it will automatically change those settings to the one you want. And then you go into railjack mode, it will automatically change those settings from your general settings to your railjack. And then you automatically go from your general settings into you want to play some music today, you don't want to do any fighting, it'll automatically change those settings. So there are 5 different type of modes within this game. There's playing music, there's flying a ship, there's playing the mini fighter game that's within the game. Then there's playing the mini sports game within the game, because this game have a mini PvP sport game and a PvP fighting game, and they probably did improvements to those 2. And then there's the general railjack one, and then there's the music one, and then there's the general abilities one. And the general one. And then you have the miscellaneous ones such as ability menu and placement menu. Those are also for when you want to do just placement marker, when you're just doing research farming, resource farming, and research finding. So you would do that to find things. And then if you want to just cast certain abilities, that's going to be tied into your general. You can have certain buttons for casting abilities. Let's say you want to play a mission where you don't use any weapons, you just use abilities. You would use this menu. So this game has so many adaptations and so many control configurations that you could go in, you could press some options, and see each one has different types. The ability have so many to choose from, and Lunaru have very different ones to choose from, and placement has different ones to choose from. See, exit, advanced mode, ascending, descending. So each of these have very different controllers. They're not very different set of grab, block, so on and so forth. So their incredible details went into the actual core functions of the gameplay in its mechanics itself. So that in and of itself is one thing with regards to the game. So it's options menu, how you could do controls, how you could do gameplay, how you could do chat, how you could switch on, switch off certain chats, switch on, put on certain colors, how you could do emotes. Everything within game 4 from the aspects of your options menu is advanced. And I will get into more of that as I play the second part of this story. But as a whole, from just its mechanical aspects of its UI and interface and gameplay mechanics, it's superior compared to a lot of AAA games. So this is one of the things I never understand why people don't like Warframe, or why they gravitate towards games like Call of Duty, Destiny, that don't have that more of complications with regards to its mechanical features on how you get to play the game. And I laugh at it. And I laugh at it and laugh with a huge joy and a huge smile on my face. And the only thing that comes to mind why these people do this is because the majority of people are following ass bitches. That's all I could say. You're following ass bitches. I want to be with the crew that a lot of people, so I want to play a game with everyone. I want to do fun with everyone. And it's great to play a game with everyone. But if you know something is superior on the thing, you will tell me you'll play something that's lesser than that, something that's greater. I don't get that. Now, not every if Warframe wanted to follow the Call of Duty mechanics, if Warframe wanted to play the Fortnite mechanic, simple before those games came out, or Call of Duty 2, Advanced Warfare, or even before Black Ops came out, it could have taken from those games those things and used those things and made Warframe like those games. But Warframe is not like that. Warframe took what makes more sense to this type of future. It doesn't copy and paste from other games what it believes to replicate and be like those games. It will take from what those other games have that's interesting, but it would do it in such a way that it represents and is adapted and it flows fluidly towards the mechanic of this game. The only gripe I have with regards to Warframe is that if you're fighting enemies, it does not have a lock-on system. That's the only gripe I have with regards to Warframe. It has buttons you press to hold to do heavy attacks. It has buttons you press to do speed attacks, to continue to press the speed attacks. It has block mechanics, and it has evasions as well. The only gripe is that once you are fighting enemies, sometimes you go off the marker and you won't be able to see the enemy because it doesn't have a lock-on mechanics. But I believe the people who made the game made it specifically that it doesn't need a lock-on mechanics, that it could tailor for you to fight the enemies, to move around fast enough and to be able to hit them. What Warframe really needs is, if it doesn't want to have the lock-on mechanics, it needs to have an adaptation towards enemy melee so that you'll be able to see the enemy fast enough in order to execute that. So that's one to fall off, I would say, with regards to Warframe. Other than everything, it's fine. Warframe is not Bloodbourne. Warframe is not Call of Duty. It's its own thing. And as a free-to-play game, I guarantee this game is superior to those games. 100% superior to those games as a free-to-play game. In fact, I believe in the free-to-play market, Warframe is superior to every game in the free-to-play market. And the only reason why a game like Fortnite is better than Warframe is because that game is PvP. If Fortnite was a PvE game, it would fail. Because one is because it didn't start out as PvE. So it already has the idea of PvP from other games and could use that within the game. If Warframe wanted to be a PvP game from its inception, or include PvP into this game and made that its main mechanics, it would succeed. It failed on its PvP aspects because Warframe is generally not PvP, it's PvE. But if it truly wanted to be PvP, guarantee that they will succeed. Guarantee that they will succeed. They succeed easy in the PvE arena when the game first came out back in 2013. Easy. I guarantee it will succeed as a PvP game. If Warframe really wanted this game to be PvP, it would succeed. because there's so much things that it could do that so many games within the PvP arena cannot do. That's already in the game. All they got to do is manipulate everything that's PvE, and convert it to a way that it could be PvP. And it will be excellent. It was great, and it'll be something new. And if Warframe really want to jump into the PvP arena, then that means that they would need bigger budget, bigger studio, bigger everything, and they're not going to do that. And I don't want them to do it. I don't want Warframe to be PvP, because not everyone likes PvP. Most people like to enjoy the world they're in, and they like to co-op in the world they're in, PvE. So, you'll keep that PvP stuff. Fuck that. I'm not interested in that stuff. Warframe is the best PvE game, in my opinion, when it comes to the free-to-play arena. People will argue like Destiny, man, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Final Fantasy 14, get the fuck out of here. That company is charging you service just to play their freaking game. Alright? You have PlayStation Plus, then you got Final Fantasy Online. The simple fact that they have that mechanic that you have to pay for that in order to play their games, separate from the PlayStation Plus, that allows you to play multiplayer other games, already says that game is a fail. Because they want their own personal money, and say screw PlayStation, and then plus you have to pay for that PlayStation Plus just to play multiplayer games of other games. Now, if you have a PlayStation Plus because you want to play other games, then you'll be paying for PlayStation Plus, and you're going to be playing for Final Fantasy 14. Because you're not going to play Final Fantasy 14 all the time, so now you have to pay for PlayStation Plus to play with other people. And you do the same thing for Final Fantasy. But who wants to keep going back and forth, playing for a subscription when you can play for one subscription to play every game, including Final Fantasy 14? The simple fact that they have their own, you have to pay for our service separate from PlayStation. Let's forget PlayStation. Nah, man, kiss my ass. Final Fantasy 14 will never be the best game when it comes to the free-to-play arena. Or Final Fantasy Online free-to-play. No, not in the best day. The simple fact that they charge you a service for you to play their game. Like they're the hot shit, they're special, that they're different from every other game that you have to play for our service to play, otherwise you can't play it again. Fuck that game. Nope, not now, not ever. Alright, so I gotta go. We'll continue this on some other day. And yeah, that's it. This is a great game. This is probably not the best. I would say 100% the best free-to-play game, as in everyone's opinion, but as a best loot mechanic, adapted loot mechanic game that has great in everything. It's the best loot mechanic game that there is. All right, people talk the shit about F49. No. As a game, as an all-rounder game, when it comes to both ups and downs, this game will always be superior to a lot. Like if you're talking about both ups and downs, this game is superior to a lot. Even if you step outside the game and talk about its community and the community managers and them listening to your opinions and stuff, this game is superior to a lot. These people do a lot more than the standard because they're independent. And you know what? I respect that, because they've been doing that for years, almost a decade. These other companies, Epic or whatever, they don't do that. So, you know what? Nah. You can keep your Fortnite Destiny. Kiss my ass, get the fuck out of here. You got a long way to go when you know an awesome game. Anyone who wants to be greedy like fucking Final Fantasy 14, you can have that shit. Alright, so I gotta go. I'll continue this on some other time. And this channel is definitely not for kids. I've been cursing a lot. So what? Made it specifically to stay within my YouTube channel setup, that it wasn't made for children. So if you're hearing a lot of cursing, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. If you don't like what you hear, it's not really meant for you. It's meant for me to archive my work and see how things move forward from there on. And if you want to learn something with regards to the game, yes, you can. That's if you choose to. If you don't like it, you expect people to do things your way, well, if you want to show me some money, yeah, go ahead. But I ain't doing that. I ain't running a business. I'm not in that boat yet. So until I get in that boat, it's all me, and I'll move when I damn well feel like it. But this is for the people who are the diehards who want to hear the good stuff. Not for you So-called people who want to call to see something and then go when because it interests you. It ain't for you, man. It's for the people who love video games and the diehards, not for the casuals that come and go, want to be entertained. You get your ass out of here. This is for the real people that love video games. So those who really love video games, not coming to goes. So I gotta go.